Joining us right now, a man who lived it and has been there and worked for us there, former Florida Congressman and Lieutenant Colonel, Fox News contributor, Colonel Al. All right, Colonel, let me put you into the Oval Office. Al-Maliki walks in and he says, the word is he's not happy and the people are not happy with their relationship with Iran. Too oppressive. The Iraqis want to be Iraqis, not Iranians. What could we do? What should we do with Al-Maliki?
Well, first of all, I would lay down some very serious preconditions to make sure that, if we do go back into Iraq, we have very specific missions that we are attempting to do. I think the president, missed the window of opportunity by maintaining the campaign promise and not listening to the generals on the ground about keeping a residual force in Iran, where we could have put out along the borders with Syria and also with the borders of Iran to kind of keep those external influencers for coming in, and then also working with the Kurdish people in the north, which are really our best allies in Iraq. But I'm very concerned right now about, the fact that we just had Secretary Lewis, Secretary Kerry up on Capitol Hill yesterday talking about easing the sanctions on Iran, but yet now we have Al-Maliki showing up on Friday talking about he's not happy with the relationship. So we would have to get to the bottom of this first and foremost before making any commitments.
Let's take a look at the country of Iraq again, and we lived this for so long. But on the right side is Syria with this huge rebel/Al-Qaeda. Some rebels are Al-Qaeda operatives on one side. On the other side is Iran. That still looks like there might be a nexus, a alleyway, where the Sunni triangle consists mostly of Al-Qaeda again. A lot of the rebels in Syria are Al-Qaeda. Are we setting up a pseudo-country right through the heart of that region?
Well, you are. As a matter of fact, Al-Qaeda is not decimated. They've had a resurgence in Iraq. They're calling themselves the Islamic State of the Levant and Iraq now. So they have, reconstituted themselves, just not calling themselves Al-Qaeda in Iraq now. So we once had a foothold. We could have kept the pressure on Al-Qaeda and other terrorist-associated elements, Sunni elements, and then we also could have kept Iran honest. So now you're going to have to go back and fight your way back in, which is something you never want to do. So this is a part of the short-sighted strategic vision of President Obama. Now, this is a tough situation he's going to be in, but I think that if you have the right preconditions, you could look at, reinserting yourself, because right now, if you don't, Al-Maliki is going to go to either Russia or China.
Yeah, and that's what we saw was happening with Syria, and Iran and Russia have never been tighter. And Saudi Arabia is now looking for a chief ally because they feel like we've abandoned them as we have done Egypt. It's an interesting foreign policy we're witnessing. Lieutenant Colonel Allen West, who fights for us, worked for us in Washington, and is now a Fox News contributor. Thanks so much, Colonel.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
All right, next